Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Knott here with Disability Resolution PA and also spaceconstitution.com. This is the for-profit and I'm working on getting this set up as a nonprofit. The idea of this is to fight for the rights as a law firm for people who are disabled. The purpose of this is a nonprofit to create future, and this is important, constitutions that are in template form for those individuals who are going to be living in space, in colonies, in space stations. This is the future, spaceconstitution.com.org shortly, that will basically allow future templates of constitutions for those people going to space to have rights and freedoms. Howdy, Benny Hill. Howdy, guys. How you doing? All right. Now, this is a very touchy subject. I want to start off and say right up front, howdy, Ramblin' Rome, howdy, that bottom line, we are not going to get into the political fist fight that we normally see between people when it comes to essentially President Trump, President Biden, stuff like that. We are purely going to analyze the facts that other journalists have come up with and then go from there into essentially figuring out what are the issues that are missing. A lot of the times I'll start researching something, I'll get to the next question and the next question. In law, we call it the issue question. In law, we always do things in a similar fashion. We have little rubrics. Most of the things that I follow are called issue, rule, analysis, conclusions, defenses, remedies. So I ask myself issue questions all the time. You know, is this, would this happen, whether this, blah, 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 all those things. And the whole point of that is I'm trying to get to the bottom and understand it myself because I have a personal interest in it. I wanted to know, howdy, Janet Jewell, Francis Lissandro, Jerry Hushar, John Lynch, Janet Jewell. There we go. Perfect. Bree Goodwin. Howdy. So I wanted to get to the bottom line of this thing. Now, please remember with this channel, like, subscribe, leave 5 stars as you like. I always appreciate them. We want to give this a fair chance as a tough topic. A lot of people are super invested into Donald Trump or super invested into President Biden. I don't care about that. I want to know what they've figured out. Let's go to it. Here we go. We're getting right to it. USA Today, fact check. This was done back in the day, August 15, 2020. Then we'll have some more recent articles. It was updated September 21st, 2020. So basically like, a month ago or a little bit over a month ago. So not that long ago. Howdy, Loretta. Howdy, Diane Flowers. Howdy. All right, here we go. The claim President Donald Trump promised to terminate Social Security if he is re-elected. Here we go. Recent post from Social Security Works, which is a nonprofit. I've seen it many times. A nonprofit focused on expanding Social Security, improving Medicare, and lowering the cost of prescription drugs. They usually do a very good job. Claim that, but it's all like low-level stuff. Well, at least the less stuff I've seen as well, but then, I have to study the case. But neither here nor there. Claim that President Donald Trump will end Social Security if he is reelected. So Social Security Works, nonprofit said, President Trump intends, if he's reelected at that time, to end Social Security. That's retirement, Social Security disability insurance benefits. That's all those things. Howdy, Loretta. Howdy, Monica Corney. Leanne, howdy. So Donald Trump says he will terminate Social Security if reelected. That's what the quotations, they said that he said that. A post on Monday reads, a vote for Trump is a vote to destroy our Social Security system. So very effective. We're talking propaganda level, like, a flag of, this stuff. We're talking like big statements here. A vote for Trump is a vote to destroy our Social Security system. That's what they're saying here, right? So that's it's in quotes. I'm assuming that's from Social Security Works, okay? Millions of seniors, here's another quote. Millions of seniors and people with disabilities struggle to make ends meet. Another post from the same day reads, yet Donald Trump says he will terminate Social Security if reelected. That's a disastrous plan. Now, obviously, howdy. I see you there with the Disability Benefits Video Assistant. Howdy. So bottom line is this. I need you to understand this. What they're saying is that he would essentially end retirement. He would essentially end SSDI benefits, SSI benefits, widow's benefits, spousal benefits, auxiliary benefits, disabled child benefits, along with all the other programs that are out there. So it's a big statement. It's not a little statement. Social Security Works is saying he intends to end retirement and all those other programs. And just to give you guys a little heads up, I looked it up because I didn't know. I was curious. In America, and this is an old figure. It's only, it's November 10th of 2021. That's pretty darn good. That's like yesterday. They believe that there are 333,633,000 363 people living in America as the population. I don't know if that's Americans or Americans and about to become, legal naturalized Americans, or if that's illegal immigrants and I don't know what that number is. But the bottom line is they're saying the population. So it's probably like everybody. Okay. So what they're saying is essentially 333.5 million people. Howdy Garden, howdy Gail Collins, Tina Grady, John White, Christine, howdy. So they're saying that there's 333.5 million people who live in this country. GXY, thank you. And I have to call you. I haven't gotten a chance yet. I have to call you. I've been working day and night. I was going to actually call you today, and then I got pushed to the end of the day. And the bottom line is I then wanted to work on the logos actually, I'm going to do that. We're taking just a moment. I need to post to you guys the logos so that you can start thinking about talking about how you absolutely love or hate the following logos. Don't be ashamed to be nice. Don't be ashamed to be mean. That's okay. I still love all of you. Here we go. That's the logo from a submitted subscriber. That's a logo I think I was working on basically about 30 minutes before the show, which means obviously 15 minutes into when we were supposed to be recording anyway. So I'm sorry about that. I'm always late. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, so bottom line, I want to go through this. We have 2 logos there for the nonprofit to consider. Basically, the whole point of the nonprofit is to show disabled people how to vote for certain politicians, to push through agendas, to increase their benefits. That's the whole point. That's what we're making. I have the guys on my server loading up the template right now. We have 2 examples of logos. Nobody sent me logo examples except for one person. No, there was another person, but I couldn't find their email right before the show. So bottom line was, that's it. There's some options there. Now, I gave you the figure, 333.5 million people living in the U.S. With that said, another fact, straight from Social Security's website, there are 69, and it's higher than this now, because basically in 2019, there was 69.1 million people, 69.1 million people living in the U.S. or that were receiving Social Security benefits from any of the programs administered by the SSA in 2019. Now, 5.7 million people were newly added and awarded Social Security benefits in 2019. So if we assume like around 6 million people a year, and we take here, let's get a calculator out real quick. Let's just do some basic calculator stuff. Nothing heavy. It's late. I've worked all day. If we do some basic calculator stuff, we have to do 2020. We have to do 2021. So let's just add 6 and 6. So let's say 70 million plus another, let's say 6 plus another 6. And then, so we're at 82 million people are probably on, although it might have reduced, it might have not, are probably on Social Security benefits, right? So 82 people are probably on Social Security benefits. So, and that's 82 million. Now, think about this, guys, for a moment. Take a little ride with me on this. If there are that many people, we have to look at the ratio because it's important. So if we have, so we have our figures. We have 82 math. We're going to do it 82 over 333.5. And then we have an X over 100. So now what we do is we multiply 82 by 100, right? That equals 82,000 divided by 333.5 equals. So 24% of the population. Think about that. Just let that sink in. 24.58% of a quarter of the population are on Social Security benefits. That's huge. That is friggin' huge. That's crazy. That's massive. All right. So now that we have our figures, a quarter of the population is on Social Security benefits. Now let's just use that figure in our brains to do the question. What's the question? Did Donald Trump intend? What was his intent? Did he intend to end Social Security benefits for a quarter of the American people, which includes probably around half Democrats and half Republicans? So did he intend to anger? Okay, let's take this. Let's say 40 million people. Did he intend to anger 40 million Democrats and 40 million Republicans? Right off the bat, I have an issue with that because the math doesn't make sense. Why would he? That would be political suicide. That would be political suicide. But yet he's the same guy who put Commissioner Saul in, who changed a bunch of rules to make it much harder for people to get onto disability benefits. So we've got these countervailing issues here. Let's keep reading. The posts come up after Trump signed a series of executive orders on August 8th intended to provide relief from the detrimental economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, we flip the page. Remember, this is USA Today stuff. All right, so Trump deferred the tax that funds Social Security and vowed to terminate the tax and return in the future. All right, so now we know what they're complaining about because we're using our lawyer brain and we're listening to the words. Trump deferred the tax that funds Social Security and vowed to terminate the tax in the future. Nothing about what we read said he intended to erase it forever, but we could read forward and see more evidence of that. All we know so far from the article is that he has basically taken a payroll tax, right? People paying payroll towards Social Security benefits, and he deferred it so that people would get to keep that money during the COVID crisis. That's what he did. That's what we know so far. Trump deferred the tax that funds Social Security and vowed to terminate the tax in the future. Let's see if the rest of the article has information specific to whether or not he actually did say he wanted to end the program. Because right now, he's a good guy. All he did was he gave American people more of the money they would normally earn to be able to survive during the COVID crisis. So right now, he's okay. He's good. That's fine. Next paragraph. They're really just sentences. The vast majority of Social Security is financed through the payroll tax. But remember, there's lots of payrolls or lots of taxes in payroll. It's not just one thing. Don't get screwed up in this like it all goes to social. It doesn't. According to Social Security Administration. So in 2019, 89% of old age and survivors insurance and disability insurance was financed via payroll taxes, which equals to around $944.5 billion. Okay, $944.5 billion. So they're saying the taxes that came from payroll equal per year 89% of how much is needed to fund all of those, 80 plus million people that are receiving Social Security benefits. So that's equal to around $944.5 billion per year. Okay, cool. We got that now. Let's keep reading. One of the August 8th executive orders instructed the Treasury Department. So he made an executive order. He wrote on a piece of paper, a napkin, whatever. You guys have to do this, right? That's what an executive order is. An executive agreement is an agreement between the president and a foreign nation. An executive order is a demand from the president to the American people. One of the August 8th executive orders instructed the Treasury Department, the people with the money, to allow employers to defer payment of payroll taxes for employees who make less than $100,000 each year. All right, so right off the bat, just real quick, right off the bat, we know Trump is a good guy here because people making under $100,000, people who aren't making enough to really make and shake and make things great, the bottom line is we know, okay, that he's giving them a tax break during COVID. They get to keep more of the money that they earn, right, during the whole process of them working during COVID. It's an incentive to keep working during COVID, which we need. It's an incentive for them to keep more money, which people want. That was smart. Let's keep reading. Let's see how hairy it gets for Donald Trump. The deferrals, which may start September 1st and extend through 2020, are intended to allow Americans to use the totality of their income amid the pandemic's hardships. Once again, the deferrals, which may start September 1st, we didn't know when they start, whatever, and extend through 2020, are intended to allow Americans to use the totality of their income amid the pandemic's hardships. That's cool. He made a good rule there. That was a good law. He pushed through an executive order, created a quasi-law that essentially let people be, lifted up on a pillow during COVID if they continue to work. That was good. That was smart. No problems there. It was for people earning under $100,000 a year. That was smart. Okay. I don't care where you stand on politics. That was smart. All right. Next one. The order also instructed the Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin, I always forget how to pronounce his last name, to explore avenues, including legislation, to eliminate the obligations to pay the taxes deferred. A goal Trump reiterated in remarks after he signed the order. A lot was said there. Let's examine it. The order also instructed Treasury Secretary Mr. Mnuchin. I just don't know how to pronounce his last name. To explore avenues, because I don't watch the news. That's the problem. Like if I watch CNN or Fox News, I would like know all these last names, including legislation to eliminate the obligation to pay the taxes deferred. So he's saying only for those taxes deferred. How do we eliminate the obligation that they somewhere down the line have to pay for them? Still, it's a decent move. It's a really decent move. You don't want to give them a tax break and then hit them down the line with it. A goal Trump reiterated in remarks after he signed the order. I don't see any problems with this. This gets people to continue working, keeping their jobs, having more money, doing better, and ultimately thereafter paying more money to Social Security once this whole tax, executive order goes away. This is Mnuchin? Is that how wait, Cheyenne, how do I say it? Mnuchin? Mnuchin. All right, Mnuchin. We're going with Mnuchin. I like that. So bottom line is, this is not bad. Let's continue to read, though. It might get hairier for Trump. If I'm victorious, because, Trump is not a politician. He was never a politician. He talks from a lot of areas of his body, but he's not a politician. But that's why a lot of people like him, too, because it's just not he tells people exactly what he's thinking, which is a lot more than you get from most politicians. A lot of politicians, you got to it's like watching a play. You got to fill in the gaps, all right? If I'm victorious on November 3rd. Now, this is an actual quote from him, so he might just get himself in a lot of shit here. Let's see. If I'm victorious on November 3rd, I plan to forgive these taxes and make permanent cuts to the payroll tax. Trump said per the Washington Post, I'm going to make them all permanent. All right, now that's a huge statement. What he said, and Shadow just sighed, which means he's either bored or he wants me to pick him up. That's a huge statement. He just said he wants to get rid of these payroll taxes. Now, we don't know exactly what payroll taxes he wants to get rid of because there's lots of payroll taxes. Social Security payroll taxes are just one of them, okay? In other words, I'll extend it beyond the end of the year and terminate the tax, he added. He reiterated his plan at a press conference on Monday. Well, that's a big statement. But here's the problem. We don't know which payroll taxes he meant. We don't. If he means all of them, then we assume he is magically killing off all of Social Security benefits because they can't get their $1 trillion a year from payroll tax, right? We assume that. But in order to do that, Trump would have to either magically find a way to come up with 1 point whatever trillion dollars he would need to fund Social Security benefits each year, which, who has that much money just sitting around? And then on top of that, right? Because remember, we have no trillionaires yet. $1 trillion is massive. That's I can't even, if you were to stack, $100 bills, it would be like a stadium upon a stadium. It would just be a massive amount of money. So the bottom line here, guys, is this. What he's saying is he wants to get rid of some payroll taxes. Let me read it again. If I'm victorious on November 3rd, I plan to forgive these taxes and make permanent cuts to the payroll tax. Now, look, when I hear permanent cuts, my lawyer brain says he is cutting. He's not erasing. Erasing is one thing, but he is cutting. Now, I'm thinking in my head, am I being fair? Trump put in, Commissioner Saul. Am I being fair? Commissioner Saul made the whole thing of disability benefits extremely difficult. He made the whole, it made it much tougher for me to win disability benefits. So I'm doing this analysis in my head. Do I believe Trump is a good guy in this? Do I think it's fair? But I still think when he says permanent cuts to the payroll tax, if you're saying cuts, you mean you're cutting off portions. You're not killing off the whole thing. If you're going to kill off the whole thing, then bottom line, it means something else. I don't see that. All right, so let's go through this again. We will be ending. Oh, here we go. Here's the big thing. In other words, I'll extend it beyond the end of the year and terminate the tax. He added, he reiterated his plan at the press conference on Monday. We will be ending that tax. Now that sounds to me like the whole shebang, which means he's got to come up with $1 trillion plus a year to pay for Social Security benefits. Now, he's always been one of those types who's like, makes grandiose argument. You know, we think Elon Musk makes grandiose arguments because he's like, I'm going to deliver to you a technology in 3 years that's never been seen by the human race in actual production, and you'll be able to buy it and use it, and it'll be amazing. And that's why when people make fun of Elon Musk and they're like, oh, he didn't deliver again, I sit back and I look at them shocked because I'm like, you must be an idiot of epic proportion, because a man who's creating technology not yet experienced by the human race on production levels didn't meet a deadline and you're upset? Self-driving cars? What? All electric car? What? Going to space over and over and over? What? Internet everywhere on Earth? What? You know? And that's why I just laugh. When people make fun of Elon, I'm just like, you must be a special kind of stupid, because that guy's a genius. You are just complaining. Those are two things. So I want to be fair here. With this whole thing. We will be ending that tax. That sounds like he's killing off the whole tax, which doesn't make sense, because then he's going to magically come up with over $1 trillion to fund the whole Social Security plan. We will be terminating that tax, Trump said, per a transcript from CNN. The payroll tax is a big deal for people. It's a tremendous saving for people, and we're going to be doing it, and we intend to terminate it at the end of the appropriate period of time, right? Which means after COVID at some point. That's what it would ultimately equate to. Okay. All right. So now he's saying he's getting rid of it. Let's keep reading. I want to be fair. I'm not showing support to Trump. I'm not showing support to Biden yet. On Sunday, as he boarded Marine One, which is never a great time to catch a president, not Air Force One, not Marine One. That's the helicopter, the one that's pretty much amazing, but I would never want to be in, because you never want to fly in a helicopter ever. They're flying bricks. Trump told reporters that the executive order deferring payroll taxes for some Americans will have zero impact on Social Security. How, though? If you want to get rid of it, how? 89% of what pays for Social Security benefits comes from that. It's like $1 trillion. How? We protect Social Security, he added, according to Fox News. So then how's he going to do it? You know what I mean? Like, an official from the White House told USA Today on Tuesday that the Social Security Trust Fund is not at risk, since payment deferral is only temporary and at present must be paid back early in 2021. The official confirmed, though, that the president called on Congress to make the deferral permanent, thereby eliminating the tax. Yeah, if you give people a tax break, you don't expect to grab it back, once the thing is, come on, you know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Garrett Watson, a senior policy analyst at the Tax Foundation, an independent tax policy think tank, told USA Today that eliminating the tax is not the same as eliminating Social Security. All right, now here's the thing. I didn't read this article before I did this show, so I'm just letting you know. That's the thing that we realized right up front. So we feel pretty special right now. All right, now let's go through it again. Garrett Watson, a senior policy analyst at the Tax Foundation, an independent tax policy think tank, told USA Today that eliminating the tax is not the same as eliminating Social Security. But why? Is Trump saying he's removing some of the payroll taxes that don't affect Social Security? Because remember, there's a lot of things in payroll taxes, and Social Security is one piece of that. You can see it when I run a payroll in ADP. Like, I know which is the Social Security tax. Maybe he's just saying it's going to affect the general thing, like the general SSI, group. I don't know yet. Let's keep reading. Okay. Strictly speaking, Social Security could be funded using general fund revenue or alternative revenue sources. So terminating a tax and terminating a program are distinct things, he wrote in an email. Now, look, the reality of that statement, and that's a huge statement, is this. If we properly invested in American companies to make products and sell products to the U.S., people in the U.S., at good, cheap prices with quality products, and we invested into those companies, we would see massive gains that we've never before seen. Now, I know the problem is, and I saw it during Obama's era. Obama had a lot of false initiative stuff when it comes to investing into green technology companies. A lot of those, I know of one that didn't, go out of business. Many of them went out of business. One of them got sold to China. That was the successful one. So it's like, it's one of those things where I was very angered when I saw billions upon billions being poured into green energy for companies that appeared to me to be more of a tax write-off game. They make a donation. He makes a presidential, we need to input money into this, one of those kind of gigs. That happens, guys. No joke. That's happened. I'll have to do a whole article thing on that too. If we invested into known technologies and some upcoming technologies, but limited the upcoming technologies with known technologies, we as a country make so much money, we could have a massive profit in a not very long time period. I want you guys to understand that. We make $22 trillion a year. If we handled it more properly, we could quite literally have great investments. And I know some of you are sitting there thinking, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, well then how do all those Wall Street people make so much money? How do they know which companies to invest into? How do they know all that stuff? How do they do so well with all that stuff? These hedge fund managers, right? All right, let's keep reading. But just think of what a hedge fund manager could do with $500 billion that was really successful, did an amazing job, and invested it properly. Think about the graph that would make of America going into the green like the Bill Clinton era. All right. Strictly speaking, Social Security, all right, we read that. However, it would be reasonable to ask what would happen with the program absent an alternative plan to fund it. Watson added. Once again, however, it would be reasonable to ask what would happen with the program absent an alternative plan to fund it. Okay. On Wednesday, Trump suggested an alternative source for the first time, the General Fund of Government Revenues per Fox Business. That's putting a huge strain on the General Fund of Government Revenues. At the end of the year, on the assumption that I win, I'm going to terminate the payroll tax, he said at a press conference. We'll be paying into Social Security through the General Fund. Now, that's big. That's huge. That's a business guy's risk right there, right? Business people take risks all the time. People that have lots of money can take risks because they don't have the fear. That's a huge risk. You got to come up with over $1 trillion a year in profit that can be used to fund Social Security benefits. Whoa, it's starting to make sense. That's why, they're making Social Security disability benefits so hard to get onto, because then they have fewer people on it, which makes it easier to fund the overall program, because the overall program then costs less per year. All right. At the end of the year, on the assumption that I win, okay, so we read that, blah, blah, blah. When questioned about the $2.8 trillion deficit now facing the federal government, which is even higher, it's way higher. I've seen things as high as $30 trillion. Trump claimed the economy is going to have tremendous growth next year. So now what we're seeing is the ego problem. I think a lot of people know that when it comes to President Trump, as a prior president, he had an ego. And that ego would often come out through Twitter. And some of those things through Twitter were not always so beneficial. It was great to know what he was thinking, but he would attack judges. He would attack all kinds of people. And, he could have used a little bit more political smoothing over in that particular area. All right, let's keep going. Notably, it's not within a president's power to unilaterally change tax law or reappropriate government funds, expert told the New York Times. Yeah, I mean, it's not normally, but during COVID times, he had a lot more leeway. If reelected, Trump could continue to defer the payroll tax with executive orders, but he could not eliminate the payroll tax entirely or provide a new source of funding for Social Security without support from Congress. Congress would have to pass it. There's no doubt about that. That is a Congress-required situation. Are eliminating the tax and ending Social Security equivalent? This is the money part. I'm assuming. I haven't read this article yet. In defense of its post, Social Security Works argued that advocating for terminating of the payroll tax and termination of Social Security are the same thing. They're not. They're not. If he had a plan that was reasonable to pay for Social Security and he said he was going to pay for Social Security, then they're not the same thing. Because to say he's going to get rid of it and then not fund it, then it would be the same thing. But if he's going to get rid of it and fund it from somewhere else where there's enough money, then it's a little bit different. But I do support Social Security Works' jump of logic there. It does make sense. You get rid of it, and where's the money? The payroll tax is known as the Federal Insurance Contribution Act tax, after all. Linda Benesh, a spokeswoman for Social Security Works, told USA Today that there is not a distinction between cutting Social Security and cutting its dedicated source of funding. There is and there's not. I mean, let's be fair here. If there was a plan to replace it, you know what I mean? Then there's a plan in place. But in this instance, I mean, I see where she's coming from. You know, she's saying you're cutting the head off of the snake. I'm saying you're cutting the body off and replacing it with another body. You know, nearly 90%. I think that's what they're saying here as an article. Nearly 90% of Social Security funding comes from payroll contributions. And if Trump terminated payroll contributions, the other funding sources would be insufficient. Benesh wrote in an emailed statement, by law, Social Security is forbidden from paying benefits if there is not sufficient revenue to cover the cost. Yeah. Nancy Altman, the president of Social Security Works, told USA Today, so now we got like the head of the Social Security Works, that the Social Security Trust Fund has a surplus of $2.9 trillion, only enough to last 3 years without new tax revenue. That's true. And retirement, I don't know if you guys have saw it, it's like 10, 11 years, and retirement's going to run out. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's worried. I had somebody on here who, like, when I did the videos about that, where the money is at, what's going on, they're like, you're just scaring people. If retirement's going to run out in 10, 11 years, then start getting upset. Start getting very nervous. Start getting very unhappy. All right, let's keep rolling. The payroll taxes bring in close to $1 trillion every year, and the benefits cost around $1 trillion, Altman said. By 2023, there's no more money in the trust fund. But Altman admitted that the administration's actions to date aren't going to end Social Security. It wasn't Trump that said, has said he will do. It wasn't Trump has said he will do. I don't know what that is. Terminate the tax that they believe is equivalent to a promise to end Social Security. Now they're squabbling over what's the plan. If they're going to take it away, are they going to refinance it? Like, where's the money going to come from, etc. All right, next one. That's why we've really focused on his words. He says, if elected, this is what I'm going to do. And there's no question at all that that will, at the worst, end the program and at least give him enormous leverage over Democrats. Ending Social Security is not on the agenda for the re-election campaign, though it's the campaign's position to protect it while making the payroll tax deferral permanent. Zach Parkinson, the Trump campaign's deputy communications director, so that's a pretty high up person in his campaign, told USA Today that claims that cutting the payroll tax will hurt Social Security are misinformation. So the Trump campaign said, no, we magically have enough money. President Trump has been clear. A payroll tax cut will have zero impact on Social Security benefits or the seniors that rely on the program, Parkinson wrote. He supports transferring money from the government's general coffers, protecting the program's trust fund. Our rating. So remember, let's go back to the beginning. Fact check. President Trump has not said he will terminate Social Security. The claim that President Trump promised to terminate Social Security if he is reelected, they held our rating, that's what they said, partly false. Based on our research, the claim that Trump said he will terminate Social Security if he is reelected is partly false. Trump recently signed an order offering temporary relief from the payroll tax that funds Social Security, and he has repeatedly said he'd terminate the tax entirely if he's reelected. But ending the tax that pays for Social Security and ending the Social Security program itself are not the same. I agree. They're not the same. You know, the Social Security Works is saying, we're just going to cut off the head of the snake that is the Social Security Administration and kill all the benefits. I don't believe that. What they're saying is they're going to cut off the body and then find another body to sew onto it, which, good luck. Good luck with that one. When asked, Trump said he measured some of the writing, but ending the tax that pays for Social Security and ending the Social Security. Okay. When asked, Trump said the measures would have zero impact. Some of the sentences need a little work here. Zero impact on Social Security. And he said he'd protect the program. And it's true that he could advocate an alternative source of funding like the general fund, although it would have to go through Congress first. All right. Here's all their sources that they went through. That's good. All right. I like that. That's very good. That's good. That's good. I like that. However, there's things that I want you guys to understand, and then we're going to go into questions that we can go to. Or actually, we'll go into the website stuff, and then we'll take questions from people. Payroll taxes. We now know that he intended to get rid of all payroll taxes. That way, people working would earn more of what they earned. And it's a significant chunk. A lot of money goes to payroll taxes. Like if you think about all those people working, and then they make $1 trillion out of that every year, that's a lot of money is taken. Like if I process a check for myself, that's like $2,500 for a pay period, I end up with like $2,000. If I process a check for like $3,000, which I don't, but if I process a check for $3,000, especially after all this COVID stuff, then I end up with like $2,300. That's how much they take out through payroll taxes. It is a massive, massive suck away from the money that I could potentially use to pay my student loans, which I also owe to the government. All right, so I feel like we got a little bit closer to understanding this. Look, Trump was no enemy in mass, like Thanos language of destroying Social Security benefits. That to me is moronic. That doesn't make sense because he would have to quite literally take a quarter of the population and F them over and take away all their retirement, their Social Security disability, their SSI. He would screw over so many Republicans, so many Democrats. They would have hunted him down. Okay? So I don't think that that's reality. Was it reality that he'd be able to fund $1 trillion per year from the general fund? I don't know. He's a business guy. He's had a lot of businesses succeed and a lot of businesses fail. I don't know. Maybe. He's a business guy. I don't know. Anyways, guys, now back to the logos. I was not able specifically with, walk me through. What did you guys think of the two logos? Where are you getting your information? If you wanted to do that, he would have. Yeah, well, no, I'm getting it from the article right here. I just read it. Donna Lawrence. The whole thing just came from an article. What do you mean? Where am I getting it from? I've been reading from an article the whole time. All right. And then they had all the sources of Social Security Works. It's like a mega nonprofit. And then it had specific sources from those people in his organization that were part of his whole presidential election, future for like 2020 to 2024 election. It's all there. You know what I mean? So the point is, what do I think now? All right. So number two, all right. So logos. Number two with a more distinct V. Yeah, you're right. For that logo, we need to make more of a check mark out of that person that's in a wheelchair so that it looks like a voting thing. All right. So guys, if you could help me out and look at these logos real quick and just give me the bottom line of what you like, what you don't like. I would really appreciate it. Oh no, sorry that link's not going to work. I'll get one at a time. Hold on, one at a time. I made the one that's like, your classic white and red logo about 30 minutes before the show. So I was 15 minutes late to the show. I'm sorry. If you guys could just let me know what things you want me to change, and then we'll go from there. Let's call one logo the hand logo, and then one logo is like the red and blue logo. You tell me what you think, because quite literally we need to move forward. I will build. Wait, so Catherine, is your logo up there? It should be there. If not, email it to me right now. I'll throw it up. 2 with the V. Okay, well, but guys, go check it. Catherine, tell me. Right now, I'm talking to you. Is your logo up there? I thought I got it. Hold on, let me see. Oh, wow, look at these. I didn't even get these. Oh, these are great. Holy cow. Look at all these. You were in my junk folder, Catherine. These are awesome. Look at these. Oh, man. All right, guys, hold up. Catherine sent us incredible logos that you need to check out. Just, I have to convert them into IMG links. Or just, links. Hold on. Give me 1 segunda to do this because I'm on the computer. I'm trying to do a million things at once. All right, hold on. IMG BB, I think it is. I'm going to load up some of these puppies. Dude, this is like, oh man, we almost missed some of these. All right, so here we go. Here's one. Hold on. Give me a segunda. Upload. Cool. I got one coming to you guys right now. Here's the link. Copy, paste. These are amazing. There's one. Hold on. Yeah, I can tell you worked a ton on these. These are awesome. God, I wish I'd gotten this. I could have like responded. Take the original background. All right, hold on. Let me get some. I'm gonna upload some more photos here, guys. Hold on. Let me just copy and paste these so I have like a little backup of them. That way I can kind of process them later and go through all that stuff. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so now we need another one. Hold on. The other one's coming up real quick. Just hang in there, guys. Hold a roo. Hold on. Okay, it's taking me a little while because I'm slow at clicking right now because it's the end of the day and it's on a laptop and not the big computer. Here comes another one, guys, and copy and paste. There you go. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Very good. Now, guys, at the end of this, you know, Cheyenne always has a good idea, and we're going to follow specifically what she said. We're just going to go ahead and do like a vote thing at the end. And basically, you know, we'll have a vote thing as part of the channel. I think they have a thing where I can upload like you vote on this as part of like a content where the images go. So I'm going to do that. Let me upload another one real quick. Hold on. 1 second. But I want you guys to tell me, what do you like? What do you want changed? Where do we go from here? I can't believe I didn't get these. Oh, I was like depressed that I got like only one other. And I was like, oh, nobody cares about doing this. But this is so important to them, you know, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so hold on. I got another one here. Hold on. Few domain names. Let's see. Hold on. No, I think those are it. Catherine, are those all of them? I think those are it. I've got 2 logos here. I got 2 logos. I see how they're still white in the background. I can always take that out. That's no biggie. I'm Photoshop and Fireworks